Hello, I'm Tyler Bell. I'm going to go through a presentation I created. It was a lesson on how students can create rhetorical analysis. Now, for this, I contacted a teacher to actually find out what English students are having trouble learning at her school. I contacted Debbie Alsip at Springdale High School. She has taught 11th and 12th grade AP Lit and Composition, AP Ling Composition, and Advanced English 12. She stated the biggest part of her English class that students have trouble understanding is rhetorical analysis, or understanding how the author of a nonfiction passage supports his or her message. I contacted her because she has a lot of experience teaching different grades and multiple years, so when she says something like that, I know she's noticed this from a pattern with all of her classes. The students can have multiple reasons for having this problem. Middle and secondary schools only focus on fiction analysis. By the time they're in 12th grade, they may not have worked on nonfiction in at least 5 years, possibly their entire school year. You have to look at different elements than you would if you were looking at nonfiction versus fiction, like logos, pathos, and ethos. What tech do the students have at this school? Springdale High School, where Ms. Alsop teaches, they have access to school Wi-Fi, cheap home Wi-Fi, Chromebooks, which are checked out for the year and can be taken home. I had multiple ideas on how to help them with this, which is walking them through the process, giving them online resources that they can reference whenever they want, and help from other teachers. The tech I used an app I made on Glide. I used another teacher's PowerPoint found on SlideShare to give them another voice and more information on the topic, and flashcards that explained what rhetorical analysis, and it is found on Quizlet, and I'll link all these in the description. The app I created, it was in Glide, like I said. The app acts as a step-by-step walkthrough on how to write rhetorical analysis, and the teacher should go through this with their students during the lesson just to make sure they're understanding this. The PowerPoint, like I said, gives a different voice from a different teacher, and it will give the students a different explanation. Here's the slide I found on SlideShare, and again, it's linked in the description. The Quizlet, these are flashcards that go on different rhetorical devices and gives them definitions and even little pictures to go along to help them understand it. Now, for the actual lesson, it was designed to take students from never doing a rhetorical analysis to doing one on their own. The lesson will take 2 or 3 class periods, and the teacher can change some aspects of the class to fit the class that they're teaching. The teacher needs to provide links to all the online resources, find nonfiction passages for each part of the lesson. Part 1, one passage; part 2, one for every group; and part 3, one that all students will do on their own, but they'll do the same one. The objective is, after being taught what a rhetorical analysis is and walking through how to do one, the students will understand how to do a rhetorical analysis and be able to do one on their own. It meets with multiple state standards. You can pause and read all of it, but it meets with the 11th grade 6 standard. And for the ISTE standards, it meets with Statement 3, which is the knowledge and structure, which is using it to just make conclusions about real world issues. Possible pretests. Some teachers like to do pretests before their class, but this isn't part of the actual lesson. It's done on their own. Part 1 of the lesson includes a quick explanation of the Quizlet, the app, and the PowerPoint, and any lecture about rhetorical devices and analysis, just explaining what it is and how the students will do it. The second part will be the teacher walking them through this part. They can do up to an outline. They don't have to write the actual essay with the students, but they'll be asking questions to help the students make these connections on their own. In part 2 of the lesson, the students will be working in groups to create a rhetorical analysis. I chose to make them presentations so the students can see how other students are writing these. They all have 3 or 4 members in each group, and then they'll present their analysis, but the content is more important than the actual presentation. Part 3, the students will do it on their own. This is actually the assessment. They can take this home if they want to, depending on how much time you have in class to give them. They can choose whether they want to write an essay or do a presentation. The teacher can then choose if they actually present it in class, they have to present it in advisory or whatever. What can be altered, how much of the analysis the teacher leads the students through. Like I said, you can lead them through the entire essay, but if you just lead them through reading the article and making the connections and creating the outline, I think students will be fine on their own. Of course, how much time is given to each part, how you want to give the assessment, and if the student does the assessment at class or at home. The final assessment will be turned in. The final one they did, either the essay or the presentation. You can choose to have them present their essay or their presentation, but that's just up to you. And the students learned anything if they just show that they have the basic understanding. The essays won't be perfect, but you can still see if they're making those connections on their own and starting to see how the author uses devices to explain their points. Thank you.